Hi, hello there. So guess who finally found out a way to record their screen? It's me. I did. Today I wanted to do a speed paint thing and just ramble about my OCs, and I guess this is the new OC rambles. Maybe. Who knows? The next one that I had planned, the one about Sky, it is nearly done, I swear. I just keep putting it off because it's not that very high on my list of things to do. But it is there, and I am working on it, and I swear I'm working on it. It's just that I have things like my comic to do, and I go to school, and I'm nearly graduating. My goodness. And I have all of these other projects, but I am working on it. I'll be very honest, this YouTube thing is sort of just something I started on a whim. And also because, like, a whole bunch of friends saw my, like, animatics and things that I do. And they went, hey, Sage, you should totally do a YouTube. You'd be great at it. And so I did it. Today, I will be drawing this quintet, I think you can say. That's a group of 5 people, a quintet of magical girl ladies that I've made, and they're all based on, like, different story tales, which I think is really cool. And, being very honest here, I know only the basics about magical girls. I think I've only seen, like, maybe a few episodes of Lolly Rock, and when I was extremely little, Tokyo Mew Mew. And when I say extremely little, I mean like 6. Why did my parents put that on for me? Because they just saw pretty ladies and thought it was cool. So, all I know about magical girls is that A, they're women, mostly. B, they have frilly dresses and skirts. C, they transform with the power of either, like, a beauty product or a marketable creature. And then D, they beat you up with the power of love and friendship and rainbows. I have, like, 1 or 2 friends that are really invested who have actually watched anime that are helping me figure out how this all works, but I'm more or less just running in blind and figuring out what to do. I don't know, maybe I might boot up Netflix and do research, quote unquote. Binge Sailor Moon or something. So each of my girls, as I said before, are all based on, like, different storybooks and fairy tales and things, and that's pretty much the premise. So there's, like, this big comet thing, I guess, is what it is, and then it falls down and crashes onto the earth, and it splits apart and then scatters in different directions, and in each direction it goes in, it leaves, like, this little trail of magic stardust, TM, that when it makes contact with a book, it enchants it. And if the book is opened by, like, someone holding it, then it summons, like, a little fella, like what is on the screen below the girls. A little fella, and it basically gives the reader the ability to transform into a magical warrior. But if the book opens and no one's holding it, like if it was bumped off a shelf or something, then it creates, like, a big monster sort of thing. I am actually thinking of changing it somewhat, though, so that the day that the stardust made contact with the book creates the little fella, and then it's still, like, if it's knocked off a shelf and no one's looking at it, then it creates a monster. But after that day, if it just opens by itself or you open it, it still just creates a monster. And that kind of is bad for, like, libraries and bookstores now that I think about it, but whatever, you know? Just, like, mark down all the books that were out on the outside display that day and just put it inside in its own little area. There we go. Maybe. Yeah, and so the little creatures have like this little psychic bond sort of thing because they don't have mouths. I mean, one of them has a mouth, but they don't have eyes. They don't have eyes. That's a key feature, TM, of my marketable children. They have like a psychic link with the person who owns the book. And, well, not really owns the book, but just like has it on their person. And the little creatures are compelling the readers to transform with them and then beat up the monsters and tell them to stop. And so once like the monster is defeated, it like transforms back into a little guy and then just goes back into the book and either looks for someone to transform if their book is read, or just be a book again. And then that's it. The end. And so these girls here on screen are all kids in the same class, and they were given different books to look at for their English class and review. And so they were all sitting in a circle reading outside when it happened. And they opened their books because they thought, that's weird. Some weird glitter fell on us or whatever. And they just brushed it off and then opened their books. And then, whoa, what are these little guys? So they can't really return the books. But they are still doing their assignment. And the little creatures, I still haven't found a name for them. The little guys are like, oh, you have to find the pieces, quick! Because all the other creatures are like, oh, you gotta beat up the monsters, but these ones... I mean, maybe some of them are like, you gotta find the pieces. By the way, they're after the pieces of the MacGuffin comet, and they're going on an adventure together. And so, these girls have to balance going to school and doing the monster fighting things and getting the pieces of crystal. But suddenly there's this famous new author in town whose books are really amazing, even though there's only one or two of them. A one-hit wonder, if you will. Anyway, this person is Ama Human. Definitely seems trustworthy, and is not secretly an alien planning to use the comets to take over the world. Why would you think that? No, it's not like that. Anyway, so Ama here is also looking after the comet pieces, and so are the girlies. And so they encounter once or twice in various circumstances. And after a while, they figure out that them encountering each other isn't some coincidence, and they must be looking for the same thing. But why would just some person be looking for it? Because he hasn't transformed in front of them. Because I'm thinking, like, maybe there are some, like, other groups and people there too that are also looking for the pieces. And usually either they've already transformed, or when they encounter the girls they transform and then fight. But Ama here has never transformed in front of them once, so something must be different with him. So the girls decide to not team up with him, because they think that's for the best. So let me introduce you to the girls in the group. So we're going from left to right. So the first one on the left, her name is Andri. And she's like, you know, your typical sporty, athletic girl. She likes exercise. She's kind of aggressive, but I guess who isn't when you're like that? I don't know. she's okay with being a magical girl, she guesses, but she doesn't really like the frills or the glitz or glam, and she just wants to nuke everything away, but she can't because she just has like a swirly stick or whatever, a twirling ribbon or something. I don't know. I haven't actually figured out their weapons because I know that's part E from earlier, that they have like either little swirly ribbons, they have batons, or they have object but large to fight with. And she just wants to get everything over and done with. And Andre's story that she's based on is Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, I guess. So she's got like a little apple dress, and I found it really cute. I'll be very honest, when looking up like research, the original sketches are really, I don't know how to put it. I guess like they look like those old murals on the top of churches, I guess. Yeah. I also looked at like Ever After High stuff for it a little bit, cause I was on an Ever After High kick during it, and I went, oh yeah, Apple White is a character. I could look at her dresses. She's a fashion doll. Fashion dolls and magical girls are like really similar, right? Maybe, I don't know. I don't anime. But I think Andre's outfit turned out really cool. I might flash up like a little thing of her usual school uniform as well. So she just does that like ties her blazer around her waist thing and just has her sleeves rolled up. Maybe when she's in her regular outfit, I might draw her muscles more defined. I just don't know how to do it with the gloves in the way, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being weird about it and should just do it anyway. And so the next one in our roster is Hattie. Hattie is the resident book nerd of the group. She's the resident book nerd of the group. She likes to read. She's really stoked about when this whole thing happened, and sometimes a lot is the brains of the situation. She's like, oh, I've read this book before. You gotta do this. And like sometimes she gets it wrong, but sometimes she gets it right. The other girls beforehand usually found her kind of annoying, but now they trust her a lot more. I very honestly am thinking like along that starting out not trusting her thing. Like she knows too much or whatever, or like, why should we listen to you? You're just the annoying one. And then she goes through like a little villain arc about it. She gets really angry and uses her powers for the wrong reasons. Oh no. But then they fix her and then it's fine. Hattie is based on Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and the dress I kind of had a bit of trouble with, is that it's a little bit too detailed with the check pattern, but I really wanted to put it there. I think around about maybe, in a bit, I actually make it so the other dresses are more detailed, because, I found that Hattie's and Andre's dresses are a lot more detailed than the rest. And it might just be because either I designed them first or had the clearest idea for them. I'm not really sure, but I do end up changing them later on to be a little bit more detailed. Or maybe I've just done it. I'm not actually looking at the recording while I talk about this again. That's why I'm sort of just not talking about what's going on screen either. I'll flash up Hattie's little school uniform too as well. I think this is just like what the female uniform usually looks like. Maybe. Yeah. A little fun fact about this, when I designed her and then I drew Ruby, the next person directly after, I had a lot of trouble figuring out how to differentiate the two aside from just hair. And yeah. But yeah, next up is Oakley. And she's our protagonist. Can you tell? Can you tell she's the protagonist by how protagonisty she looks? She's the most energetic out of the group, I'd say. Hattie being second. And she's like always wanting to be in an adventure. She likes hearing about like adventures and stuff like that, and always is thinking up some fantasy. And so when her and her friends are like turned into superheroes, she's really into it. And she also pesters the group to start out with, of like, come on, we gotta do the thing. It doesn't matter that we're in the middle of math class. There's a giant monster attacking everyone. Come on, let's go! But she doesn't go through her little villain arc. It's more of that the others sort of like confront her about it, and she eventually calms down about it all. But there is still that thing of, hey, you need to learn when things when you're a little bit too energetic about it all. And she has trouble with it still, but she manages to do it. She manages to calm down Oakley. Oh yeah, and she's based on the event. She's the Pinocchio one. She's a Pinocchio. She's my puppet girl. Actually, her having a villain arc too would be kind of cool, cause I've figured out all these different powers for them. Their own little special power. Oakley's special power is like she has strings to like tangle people up and stuff. And then like Oakley being in a villain arc, she might actually like puppeteer people around. That would be cool, actually. Yeah. That would be really cool. Maybe she has like a little bit of a thing about doing that, maybe. Maybe Armor manipulates her into doing that later on in the story. That would be cool. Yeah. That would be really cool, I think. Puppeteering everyone around. Maybe they're like, either they become motionless or like they're still very aware and they're like tugging against the strings constantly, but they have no free will. She has complete control. Yeah. And then she herself is metaphorically being strung up and being manipulated against her will. Yeah. I'm getting ideas. Anyway, next is Ruby. There she is, my little girl. She is she is the quiet one of the group. She's very much a very large foil to Oakley. I'm thinking like later in the series, she learns to like stand up for herself, but she very much already can be loud, but only if pestered enough. As with any quiet kid, only speaks when needed, only yells when needed. I guess maybe. Yeah. She likes to keep to herself, but she learns through like looking at the others that she can be whoever she wants. She can be. She doesn't have to be afraid of who she is. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And of course, Ruby is based on Little Red Riding Hood. I honestly had a lot of difficulty. Well, not a lot, but like a bit of a hard time trying to figure out how to do her little cloak thing. Because I have these little design rules I made in my head for everyone. But when you design one of these girls, they have to have like little short sleeves or whatever. And then I wanted to try and balance that with the cloak. And so eventually I decided that it's like a little shoulder cape, and then that makes up for the sleeves. Because in my rules, screw everyone else. And that's that. But I got around to it eventually, and I like how it came out, and I like how her skirt came out. And then here's what Ruby looks like in her usual uniform. And I think I said it earlier, but I had a bit of a hard time trying to differentiate her from Hattie, but I think I figured it out, you know. Changed the position of the ponytail. The like little fringe is different already, so I didn't need to change much of that. Lengthen Ruby's skirt. I am considering putting like a little pride pin on Ruby somewhere, but I wasn't sure where. Maybe I'll have like a little patch on her shoulder or something. I think that would be really cute. Yeah. And then the last one is Heidi. And she's like she's the really studious one. She wants to learn, she wants to get things done. She'd rather be back in school than out gallivanting with all of these friends of hers. They're not really friends to her. It's more or less that they went, "You're cool, let's be together." At least that's my little thought. Maybe. Yeah. I haven't really actually thought. Maybe she isn't actually friends with them and was just put with them for the assignment. Because she's probably that kid that every time is in a group assignment asks to work alone, please. But she can't. The teachers say so. And she was just put in this group with them and just has to deal with it for the rest of the story now. Womp womp. Too bad. So sad. And so her design was actually the hardest to come up with, her and her little creature. They all have names, but I forgot to mention that, so I'll probably flash them all up now. Yeah, but her little creature was probably the hardest to work on, the hardest to come up with. and her own design as well, but I think I got it right. I think I figured it out. And so, that's the 5 of them. That's who they are. That's the story, I guess. Yeah. Here's Heidi in her school uniform, and I guess I'll just let this keep playing until it's over. this is the final product. I really like how it came out. I hope all of you have a very good day, and yeah, see ya. Bye.